the amount of guilt I felt about giving myself permission to take care of me at the beginning of the month versus the end of the month was shocking.
Well, I mean, I think you come to the conclusion that like, you are the heartbeat of your family, right? You are the emotion of your family. When you come down the stairs in the morning, your mood dictates the house, right? And that's something that I'm constantly trying to remind myself of.
Hi, welcome to The Good Stuff by Bright-Sided. I'm Christine O'Donnell, and joining me today is Darien Rozell. We are sitting down for afternoon tea. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks, Christine.
We actually worked together for about a year, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And we developed her show, Afternoon Tea at Pantry Hill. And then we made a hard decision to stop producing and publishing that show. I say we, it was really more Darien's decision.
Yeah, and it was hard, but a lot of good stuff came of it.
A lot of good stuff came about it. And so this episode, we're going to talk about the good stuff that comes from hard decisions. You know something that we love here at The Good Stuff? It is a leadership development program, and not just any leadership development program, a leadership development program specifically for girls. That's why I am so proud to share that Girls Inc. of the Greater Capital Region is one of the sponsors of The Good Stuff. Girls Inc. of the Greater Capital Region started in 1937. And since then, they have been empowering girls to reach their full potential, providing mentorship and life-changing opportunities for girls in Albany, Schenectady, Troy, especially girls that face real barriers like bias, trauma, and girls who have limited access to opportunity. From STEM-focused after-school programs to college and career pathways like the Eureka program, Girls Inc. is preparing girls not just to succeed, but to lead. And here's something we love. 83 cents of every dollar goes directly to programming, creating impact where it matters most, because when girls rise, communities rise. To learn more, to support their mission, or to get involved, head to girlsinccapitalregion.org. That's girlsinccapitalregion.org. I do think that what we produced is really beautiful.
It's beautiful. I love it.
It's like the story, like to me, I'm like, it's the story of matriarchy.
Yeah.
Like it's the story of like how women take care of their families, how they like fuel each other's ambitions, how they take care of not only their family, but their community, and how everybody is an asset in their own way.
But this is, but like what's so cool about that is that continued off camera.
Yes.
Right. And that was something that reverberated through both of our lives in a way that was not captured and it was not talked about and was bigger than what we made. Eric and I built this lifestyle 5 years before I even started sharing, like turning it into a brand, right? And so the Pantry Hill brand came after the lifestyle was created. And the deeper that I got into building the brand, the more that I realized that I was not willing to give up the lifestyle for the sake of the brand. So I called you in end of June. So this is like 1 full year. Yeah. And I was just like, you know, I think that for myself and for my family, we need to pull back a little bit. And I need to at least take a break for the summer. And say, you know, like when my kids are out of school, I want to fully be, you know, like with my kids for the summer, taking that break. We did that. And I think we did that gracefully in a way that felt organic and right and authentic.
Watching you come to this conclusion that you weren't living the life that you loved, had set out to live, because we were so heads down, like working so hard to make this production as good as it could be. Even today, I was like, was that good enough? And I like have this problem where I'm like, I don't know if it's a problem or if it's like...
It's not a problem because I have it too.
It's just part of, it's a result of, I think, being raised in the time in which we were raised and being an ambitious woman, and also maybe being the oldest daughter. Like, there's like this, like, I know. So it's like, I need to keep one-upping myself to make sure I keep achieving. I need to keep going. What's the next thing? Okay, we did that. What's the next thing? Okay, we did that. What's the next thing?
But at the detriment of like what, right?
Exactly.
Like, because that is not a zero-sum game. Like there's things that you are putting to the side, or you're giving up, or you're making like, decisions around, and there are pieces that fall because of those decisions that you're making. And it's like, it just gets to the point where it's like, okay, what is worth it?
Yes.
And for me, it was like, I was not like my kids' time, me feeling like what we've built here, like we have worked so hard. Like none of this was like given to us. There's no like magic inheritance. Like this is something that like Eric and I, from the very beginning, the start, had set a plan in place for. And we sort of achieved the majority of it. And then, like, I wasn't willing to sacrifice, like actually being able to enjoy it.
Yeah.
So that was where I was like, okay, I think we need to like reevaluate, how this is all going to go.
When you did that, it was the first time in my life I've seen an ambitious woman take a step and be like, this isn't what I'm working for. Like, this isn't the life I want to live. And seeing you give yourself permission to revel in your family, to revel in the life that you've built for yourselves, and just slow down and make sure that you were living in the moment and making memories that you will always be able to look back on.
Yeah, and I'm not going to take that for granted.
No.
Like I said, like we have worked so hard for that. And to be able to say like that I have everything that I want, that's something that I think is rare. And so I'm not going to just like miss out on that, right? And I think that being someone who's ambitious, I would say that decision was hard to make, but it wasn't as hard as it would have been in the past. I think that having kids has changed that in me, right? I think that what it did was it made it easier for me to be decisive about that decision. Like the amount of time that we have, especially when you're thinking about a summer with your kids, is so finite, right? Like if I don't make this decision now, if I let this decision linger, that's a whole summer that has passed us by, right? And I can't get that time back. So I think that motherhood kind of gives you perspective and kind of gives you this timeline. But I think that like in the past, I would have stewed on something like that for months, right? And it would have taken me forever. And I would have been so afraid that I was going to disappoint people and disappoint the people on my team and the people who had worked so hard. And I had to put all of that aside and say like, what is it that I want? What do I want? What do I want for my kids? What's best for my family? And say like, respectfully, like, this just isn't working for us.
Yeah. So in March, my brother had passed away. He and I were close. I'm not his mom, but like there was a lot of mom things I would do for him. And so I just like felt very protective of him. I felt like it was my job to take care of him. And when he passed away, because of how he passed away, I was like filled with like guilt, remorse, like sadness, anger, like all of these things. And I was like confused why I couldn't have stopped, like all these things. Mm-hmm. And I also like wasn't completely letting myself process it, not on purpose, but because it was such a shock. Mm-hmm. Like, and I kind of just kept going.
Yeah.
I did my best I could to keep going.
You can't prepare for something like that.
Yeah. I think we had our first shoot that week.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I don't think that I can show up and not cry. Mm-hmm. So my husband substituted for me.
Yep.
And I heard that it went great.
Yeah. It was fantastic.
I was like, tell me everything.
Yeah.
But I was like, I really think I just need to, but it was just like, what timing? Because this happened towards the end of March. Mm-hmm. And it was like that same week we had our first shoot. And I was like, how do I keep, and I wanted, like, I was so excited and like, there was still so much driving me that I couldn't even accept the reality that was my new reality.
Right.
And it didn't really catch up to me until around June.
Yeah. And then you had all of your ducks in a row, right? And you're like, I'm not going to let all of these balls drop in my life for something that was like outside of my control. But like at the same time, like you also have to take care of yourself. Like there are things that happen in life that you cannot plan for. I think that we have to leave room for ourselves to give ourselves grace, you know?
Yeah. And I didn't have that. Like I didn't have the wiggle room for grace. I didn't like, I had enough wiggle room to like parent my kids.
Yeah.
I had enough like to show, like I had enough.
You're like, are they bathed? Are they fed?
For exactly what we were doing. But and I was trying to be present. But when I work on a show, I find myself becoming so engaged with or like connected, entangled maybe with the person who I'm launching the show with. Like I really want to make sure I'm telling it from your perspective. So I really try to like understand where the person who I'm working with is coming from so that I can help them come from an authentic place, and I can make sure that the show is honest to who they are. And I was doing this for like several different shows at the same time, and there wasn't any room left for me. To be who I am. And I didn't realize that that was so important. And it's really important.
Yeah, because then you're only showing up as a shell of yourself for every single part of that, right? And some of the like reasons why like people hired you or was because of you, you know? And so then you're like, well, what am I actually bringing to the table? Am I just bringing what these people want me to bring to the table? You know? And that was kind of the cycle that I got caught in too. Like I was like, all right, what do people want to see? How can we tell our story in a way that feels like entertaining? And, you know, and so you get so caught up in giving people what they want or what you think that they expect that you kind of are like, but wait a minute.
Who am I?
The reason I got into this in the first place was because I loved it, you know? And look, what did I love about it? And where did that go? And how do I get it back? And like, you know, how do I make this not something that feels like chaotic?
Yes.
Like, because it doesn't have to.
It doesn't.
And it shouldn't, right? And especially when you're telling the story of like we were here, like our life and just, you know, like our family life and cooking and all the things that we love, like it shouldn't feel chaotic. And it was just, I think I was losing so much of myself in the production of all of it that I just kind of realized it wasn't right. Maybe it wasn't the right time. I mean, like same thing for you. Like you had this major life event happen. Like we were building this. We were like, there was so much going on at the same time. Our kids are little, like they demand so much of your time and your energy. And like, for me, the reason we're doing all of this is for them, you know? And so when I kept pushing that to the side to show people how we were living here, I was like, this isn't working.
This is an oxymoron.
It doesn't feel right.
The opposite of what we meant to do.
Yeah. And up until then, I had felt like everything I had been doing just kind of like naturally fit into my life. It didn't feel, but it was all things that I was used to doing. I had done them for the publishing company that I worked for before. It almost was like riding a bike. This was something that was brand new. You know, and you had like you, like you said, you were working so many shows at once, and that was like kind of new for you too.
We like came up with a little bit of a different plan with your show, but I think it was the most authentic to your show and like what your show needed to be.
Yeah.
And
we stretched ourselves.
And we also found an amazing videographer to help us.
Yeah.
Like,
Hey, Taylor.
Hi. I was like,
I didn't tell him we were doing this.
No, me neither.
Surprise.
But he is also an amazing storyteller, and he was just such a great person to work with. And anyway, I think of him often. And so he's just a great presence.
Yeah,
so
me too. I mean, I think it's something that both of us are like passionate about. You've continued with your podcast company, and like the direction of where we were going with the show is something that I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about all of those things. Those aren't things that I'm going to drop. Maybe they're just things that don't fit into our life in that way right now.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the other thing I kept thinking to myself was like, this is not a permanent decision. This is something that's like, this isn't working for me right now. And that's okay.
I wasn't like caught off guard. I think I kind of felt it coming. I felt it. Like,
I also think though that like the way that it all aligned just made sense, right? The way that the episodes fell, it just made sense. And so when I brought it up, it was like, well, actually, yeah.
This is like that's a better idea, Darien.
That actually just sounds.
I love that idea.
You know, it just like, and there was a way we could be like, this could either be a pause indefinitely, or this could be a pause until the fall. And so what we did was then we met again in September, and we all got together at the office, and we were like, okay, you know, what do we see here? And I was like, I think I'm happy where I'm at. And so were you. And that's when you were like, you know, I wanted to let you know that this year I didn't sign my kids up for after school. Like, I'm ending my day at 3 p.m. because I want to be there for them when they get out of school. And that was something that you hadn't done before.
I mean, I still struggle with it.
Yeah. I mean, well, come on. It's always like, everybody does.
Yes. But I do get considerably more time with them. And I think that has benefited our relationship.
Yeah.
A lot.
And you were like, I'm just like making more time to like check out, gather yourself before the kids get home from school. And that's a lifestyle decision. And you were aware of that. And again, you were like, that changed the way that we changed working, like the way we changed ourselves when we decided to stop working, you know, in the fall.
My whole life has changed since we last talked. Like, I think my whole mentality has changed, like so much about how I feel like I walk through every day has changed. I think it's come with a lot of tears.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's like one of those things when you are working and trying to create and being a mom and a wife and a friend and like all the things that we are today, we sometimes miss out on time to process stuff for ourselves. And so much processing has just been done out loud, like in front of people, like, and it's been messy, but I feel like at this point, I'm like, whew, I feel like I am back to me.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I was lost in some kind of like grief fog. Mm-hmm. And then I just like, I swear like in the past month have been like, wow, I feel like me somehow.
Yeah.
How is that happening? And I'm like, oh, I remember you had a birthday, but I didn't realize you were a year older.
Yeah.
With people, because like there was so much happening that I was aware of, but also not aware of.
Yeah. You weren't fully present.
I was like in a different dimensional field.
Yeah. And like you were saying, like when you work in a creative field, you need that space for yourself and you need your brain to be clear. And, you know, I mean, I didn't go through nearly what you went through in the last year, but there was a lot of soul searching, right? What happens when you feel like you have reached this point where everything you have worked so hard for a decade is here now, right? When you're somebody who's like very ambitious and very like, you know, is always looking for the next thing. And for me, it was like, I need to take space to figure out what that is. And I had felt like I had been creatively drained and I needed space and time. And just like you said, it's been like about a year where I was like, feel like I'm kind of coming around to this, like, this was the lesson in all of it. You know, like there was something a little bit bigger here. You know, we talked in the fall and you had shared with me about, you know, how you were like managing your time outside of the office and with your kids. And then there was a while where we didn't really, you know, we both kind of were doing our own thing. I jumped right into my pie workshops after the boys went back to school. And I really love doing those. And it was so fun. I mean, they're so much work, but I love them. And then we jumped into the holidays, and the winter for me is kind of my like, I love winter. And it was just like this personal, like, slow down time. And we really just like, Eric and I were like, okay, let's take a look at our life. where we are, what we want, right? And like we were saying, you can't plan for things that are outside of your control. But if we have some sort of idea of where we want to be in the next year, in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, then it kind of sets this like direction that I think, and Eric and I have always kind of done this. Then you have this like kind of like guiding light as things come at you and life happens. It's like, okay, we're going to deal with this, but this is the direction we're going. This is the direction that we've kind of decided to move in. And so we spent like an entire winter being like, where are we going? What are we doing? You know, and it kind of, we just came to this like conclusion that he's also very ambitious and so successful in his career. And we had spent, both of us, a year chasing big things and achieving them. And we both were like, I think we need to take some time to just sit where we're at and be like, it's okay if we don't reach for the next big thing. It's okay if we just kind of like settle in. And then you messaged me for Mother's Day.
Yeah.
And that was where we landed. Can I read your text message?
Yeah. I like see things and I just randomly send them to you.
I know.
Like,
now I'm like, okay, which one is me? Which one is you? Okay. Okay. So then you messaged me on Mother's Day. And this was after like several months of like reflection and time and slowing things down and like what's next and all of these things. And you said, working with you really taught me so much about the importance of creating and nurturing a home, not just for children and family, but for myself. Creating home is something I spent more time on this past year, incorporating the past with the present. It's helped me process and grieve in ways I didn't expect. Thanks for teaching me how to do that. Wishing you and all the women in your family a happy Mother's Day weekend. And that was a point where I was like, wait, I think that was the point.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. I think that was the point of all of it. And like, maybe the point wasn't to create this like amazing show that like we carried on and all of these things, but like maybe that was the point for both of us, you know, to recognize that in each other and to nurture that in each other and to give each other the space and the permission to work on ourselves and our families. And then like, who knows what's next, you know?
I mean, I was just telling these women who are also in the room with us, the tech team, that you just never know what's going to happen tomorrow. Like you just don't know what's going to happen. And
no, and the best you can do is like take it as it comes, the rest of it, you know?
When we were first starting working together, I was like, wow. Like the history on your walls, it's like a museum, like with like the actual history of your family on your walls. And I just was like, wow, that's such a great idea. Cause my walls were bare. Mm-hmm. So I never knew what to put on them. And I never really paused long enough to do that.
Yeah.
And I just found like, as we continued to work together and I was like settling down, like I just found myself maybe learning things, but not processing them. Mm-hmm, and so when I started to give myself time to slow down and to sit with things and to grieve, because I took the whole month of August off for like the first time for my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was just something I did for me so that I could be okay.
Yeah.
And giving myself permission to do that. And then also like having people in my life, I mean, not everyone in my life, but having the people like my husband, right? Who was like, no, I want you to do this. Like you need to do this, like this, like I care about you and I want you to be okay. Like, do you need a massage? Pay for, like, we got it. We can pay for that. Like, what else do we need? Like whatever you need, like, let's make time to give you that so that you can continue to slow down and just take care of you.
Yeah.
And the amount of guilt I felt about giving myself permission to take care of me at the beginning of the month versus the end of the month was shocking.
Well, I mean, I think you come to the conclusion that like you are the heartbeat of your family, right? You are the emotion of your family. When you come down the stairs in the morning, your mood dictates the house, right? And that's something that I'm constantly trying to remind myself of. And if you don't do those things where you're taking care of yourself and you're being aware of how the decisions you're making are impacting the people around you, everything starts to like kind of topple down,
Yeah.
you know, like, so that time is like, that is the most important thing,
Yeah.
you know?
And I didn't know what to do with myself.
Yeah.
It's like, what do I do? Like now I have to, so I'm grieving.
Yeah.
Do I just cry?
Yep.
Now?
Yep.
Right now. Go. Grieve.
Yeah.
I was like, how do I make
There's
myself?
no like blueprint for that, you know?
Well, I went to, I'm going to paint my door pink.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And
that
then you said, yes.
door is brown and it makes me sad.
I remember
what
when
makes
you were
me
texting
happy?
me that, you started doing things like in your house. And so
Yes.
here's the thing. It's that, you know, you were saying like all of the history on the walls and stuff, like the way that we create home can teach us so much about ourselves, right? So it teaches you about what is important to you. You know, it can teach our kids about their family history. It gives you a sense of identity. This is who I am, and this is the way I express myself in the place that I live. And it is so much more important than just creating a space that's pretty to look at, you know?
Yes. And I always thought like you have to hang pictures on your walls or artwork, but you can hang
literally anything
on your walls.
Yeah.
And like your nature table in front of us is a great example of this.
Yeah.
Because you also don't have to spend a lot of money. You can just find things outside. Yeah. Like my kids love sticks.
Yeah. I mean, we have a whole collection of them inside. Like but it's like the things that are important to you, the things that like hold meaning, and maybe they hold meaning for like a stick, right? For a few weeks, but like it's so important to Finn and he is 4. And so that stick is going to sit on our nature table inside until he decides it's no longer important, you know? But it's like giving yourself the space to do that, but giving everyone in your family the space to kind of like participate in that, then you're creating a sense of community, like, and just this general collective, like, this is who we are as a family. This is who we are as a people. This is where we belong, you know? Mm-hmm. And I just think that creates a really strong sense of self, which just builds like really strong self-confidence.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't think I completely got it when we first started working together, but I get it now.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. There's so much more behind it, you know? I mean, and like I get caught up in the like the colors and the layers and the like pretty thing. Like, don't get me wrong. You know, like I love all that stuff too. I love like the trendy stuff. I love, you know, like it's so fun. It's fun for me. Like it's not fun for some people. I know that. But what can be fun and therapeutic and is like creating those spaces that teach you about yourself, you know?
Yes. I would say creating home is another way of creating safety.
Absolutely.
For yourself, for your family.
Yeah.
And that's what I needed. This past year was a safe space for me to be.
Yeah.
And I feel like I did it. Not that my home is it's beautiful to me.
Yeah. And that's all that's
like my kids' artwork is on the walls. And I like found myself going through old newspaper clippings, and like there's old newspaper clippings of my husband in the Boy Scouts when he like built a trash can for a local park. Like just these little things that
tell a story.
So that when the kids are walking by, they're like, look what my dad did.
I mean, I can't even tell you how many times my kids look at like the pictures on the walls, or you know what else I did this year that really like, I guess it felt therapeutic. It just felt like something that I never had taken the time for before was I printed off. I started like year by year. I went through my albums and I picked all of like, I kind of did it really fast. Like I tend to like, I edit my photos. I, you know, like make them really beautiful. And I love doing that. But I was like, I need to start collecting these memories the way my mom did, where like she just has like boxes of photos. Like she took film photos and there's tons of them, but she printed them. Right. And we have them to physically go through. And like, I love doing that. And I was like, we have the snapshots of memories that we framed, but we don't really have like a collection. And I had started doing that when my first 2 were little, and you know, life gets busy and it just kind of like trickles off. I was using like one of those apps that printed out like the books, but I was like, I think I physically need like 4x6 printed copies of like all of these memories. And so Eric and I took a trip to Italy, and I started on the flight there and the flight back, going through the last like 10 years of photos and just putting like as fast as I could, like the ones that I thought were the most important. And I have started printing them off year by year. And then I bought all of these albums from the craft store, and they all are like the same. So they can all sit on the shelf, like in the same way, because that's just the way my brain works. And each album represents a year. And so then I'm printing them, I'm having the photos mailed here, and then I'm physically putting them into these albums. And my kids love going through them. Like, and I've only done like the last, I don't know, I think I've got 5 years left. It's a lot. There's like 250 photos for every album. But just like them being able to flip through their own history and ask questions. And, you know, Finn is trying to wrap his mind around the fact that like he didn't exist for the majority of these photos and these like family memories. And
I can't believe he's 4.
I know. He's like 4 going on 17.
Yeah.
He is definitely, we could throw him into first grade tomorrow and he would be like, cool. Like he tries so hard to be like his
One
big
of the
brothers.
Big boys, yeah.
Being able to like revisit your own family history within your home, and I don't know, taking the time to preserve those things I don't think our current society really like culture supports that.
Yeah. So I started doing something similar. And it started with me wanting to create when Ryan passed away, I went through like all of his artwork, like all of his stuff. And so at the funeral, it was like on the walls, like I like made a museum of Ryan's life.
Yeah.
And then when you take it all down, it's like, what do you do with it? And so I was like, well, I'm going to put what I can in this album. And so I started making an album for him. And then while I was doing it, my dad started giving me more things from other people in our family who had passed away. And then I started doing it for them too. And then I was like, but I want to do this for us. And so I like have a mix of like photos. I got a Polaroid camera.
Yeah.
And so I started like taking just random, just like, or giving the camera to the kids so they can take photos.
That's something I don't pull out enough is my Polaroid camera.
Yeah, we take pictures, and we have a box that we're, what is it, like a file cabinet box that we're just putting the things in. That also goes with like their artwork that they create in school, or like the awards they win at the fun run, or like just like little things like trinkets. And so now we have like these boxes that I swear I'm gonna like start putting in an album.
Yeah. My mom never did. I can tell you that. Like she has when we went to high school. When each one of us graduated high school, she put together a scrapbook for each one of us, which I'm sure took her forever to do. So she went through and she picked but I mean, she has boxes. I don't know if they're still under her bed, but they used to be under her bed. Huge boxes like this where the photos are just like, they're just in there. Yeah. We love going through them anyway. It doesn't matter, you know?
Yeah. So, and it's almost like, oh, these shoes are from Payless, like, because my dad has them like a shoe box. Yeah. And I'm like, it's almost like the zeitgeist of the time of when those pictures were taken. Totally. Is also how they're stored. Yep. And so
I think my mom has them in like old ski boot boxes, I think is what they're in. Because they like come in these like big,
boxes.
Yeah. I think that's important for families, creating your own home is an individualistic experience. So like there are no set rules. It's like, how does it feel to you when you walk in? Does it feel good? Right. And like, yeah, you can like your bed should be facing this way or this way, but it's also like, but what makes me feel good? There was that like Marie Kondo, like the whole like cleaning your house and what was it?
Does it give me joy?
Yeah, if it doesn't give you joy, get rid of it, right? Like, I'm not a minimalist. Like, I tried. Like, during that, like, phase, I was like, okay, what do we really need? And, like, those things, things bring me joy, right? Yeah. Things are attached to memories, and they give you a sense of who you are and where you've been and where you're going. And so, like, I just feel like it's all like, take it all with a grain of salt and just be like, what makes me happy? What feels good when I walk in here? And if it feels good to you, it's going to feel good to the people around you.
Yeah.
Right? Because they love you and you're inviting people into your home, and the people you're inviting into your home are there because you love them or you trust them. And so they're going to see you in that space.
So speaking of, we are here inside your timber
frame. Yeah.
timber
and this is what we were building while we were doing the show.
This was not complete while we were working together.
And you know what's so funny is like this is, I call it the Pantry Hill studio, right? So the barn is something that Eric and I had on our radar. When we first moved here 10 years ago, we were like, we want an accessory building on the property, a place where we can make this like really feel like it has a sense of place. You're arriving somewhere, we can entertain family and friends. It's extra storage space. Originally, it was like a garage that could be like converted into X, Y, and Z. Maybe someday we'll put a pool off the side of it. Like we just had all of these plans. And then, you know, the more it developed and the more that my brand and my business grew, I was like, we could use this for this and we could use this for that. And, you know, then we started doing the show. And so this kind of evolved into being like the Pantry Hill studio space. And we worked so hard to complete it. We jumped right into my pie workshops. And then when it was finished, you know, and we kind of took a breather after the holidays, Eric and I were like, we haven't even really had a chance to enjoy it for ourselves, which ultimately is what we had built it for. We were like, it can be X, Y, and Z, but in the long run, if like none of this turns into anything, what is this space for? This is a space for us and for our family to be able to enjoy it. It's a space to welcome guests, you know? And so that's kind of where we're at. And it's funny that we're sitting here doing this reflection now, because this was very much a hit the ground running. When it's finished, it is this Pantry Hill studio space, and we are going to build the business around it.
We were talking about getting lights put up in the kitchen.
I mean, we did, right?
Like
everything in the kitchen is fully designed as a studio kitchen space. And I do intend to use it that way, like, you know, but I intended, like originally was like, we are full steam ahead. Like this, as soon as this is done, we're going to start filming in here. And we took that time, and a year later, we're still like, I almost feel protective over the space as it being like a space for our family, you know, and it's the perfect for my pie workshops. I love doing that. That was one of the like reflections that we took like over the winter. We were like, okay, what is working for us? What is something that we love doing? What are the things that we don't love doing, but we have to do? What are some of the things that we don't love doing and we don't have to do? And so like my pie workshops, as far as like the brand and the business, we're at the very top of the list of like, I love doing these, right? I love being this place. I started to realize that like people were coming here from all over the country to celebrate something of their own, whether it was like a mother's birthday or a wedding, or, you know, like people were choosing to come here to celebrate these like big moments in their lives. And I was like, that is so cool. Like I'm using my legacy to bring people here. We're cooking, like we're baking my great grandmother's pies. And like, it's just something that's like, that is so important to me. And that's something that I will never give up. It brings together like my love of education, my love of like design and magazines and cooking and family, and like all the women in my family help. And so that was top of my list, right? And so we used the building for that. But after that, it was just like, this is really the first time we've actually used it as what it was intended for. It's like a studio space. And like, it's okay. I don't know if that's what I want it to be anymore. And that's okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'm going to take some time to think about it, you know?
Well, here we are, afternoon tea.
Afternoon
tea. Can we talk about the tea though?
Yeah, because that's another full circle moment.
Our first episode was about this tea. It was hot then.
Yeah. Well, I mean, now it's like summer again, so it's iced now. But this was our Pantry Hill blend tea. You know, we partnered with Saratoga Tea and Honey Company to come up with a blend that really spoke to our lifestyle here at Pantry Hill. And so it's a maple blend tea. You know, we tap our maple trees here, and it just like maple and cinnamon and all of those things, just like we describe it as a cup of home. And so our first story that you and I told together was the making of this tea. And there's so much that goes into that. Like the importance of tea in my family, and tea is a time for like our family members to get together. We drop by in each other's houses for tea. And like, that's just like a casual way of catching up every day and, you know, slowing our days down, like after the boys get home from school. And so tea just has a lot of symbolism for my family. And so like making this blend was really neat because it was like, it offered us the ability to invite other people to join us for afternoon tea without like physically inviting them here. You know, like you can take this home and you can make it yourself. So today I made us iced Pantry Hill tea.
With heavy cream.
It's the best. It's so good.
It
I
really
actually think
is.
I love it hot. I love it iced though. It has maple syrup. I put extra maple syrup in it, and heavy cream. And it kind of is like a chai. Like I love chai. So it has like a chai feel to it, but
yeah, it's delicious.
But here we are, like full circle.
Afternoon tea at Pantry Hill.
Yeah. It's different than what I thought it was going to look like a year later, but
I know. What a year.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for having us back at Pantry Hill. I am so happy to be here. I'm so happy you're putting yourself and your family first. And thanks for teaching me how to do that too.
You too, Christine. I think that I just think it's so cool what happened to both of us behind the scenes, you know, and I'm glad that we both, like after that Mother's Day text, I was like, I think we need to share this. And then I thought about it for a while, like probably like a month or two. And then when you just texted me the other day about something random.
Oh yeah, so random.
And then I was like, so what do you think about, like, I didn't know if you were ready to tell your side of the story. And so I was like, what do you think about me telling my side of the story? And you were like, I would also be willing to tell mine.
Yeah. Well, I've been thinking about it kind of nonstop, like not actively in the forefront of my mind, but it's just like, wow, how did I get to where I am now when it comes to how I feel in my body, I guess.
Yeah.
Like that is, I feel like I was very dysregulated and not that it's very easy for me to get unregulated.
Yeah.
Especially if my kids are like screaming about something or fighting over who checks off the checklist.
But hey, maybe you're more in tune to those triggers now because you took the time.
Yes, but like taking time to put myself first and like actually cherish myself and take care of myself first and make myself the most important thing. One of the most bizarre things I've ever done, but also like, wow.
Yeah. Making space.
Why didn't I ever give myself credit before?
Yeah. Like I have control over that, right?
Care about myself before.
Yeah. Like nobody else was going to do that for you.
No.
Right. Like it's just, and I think it's just like the nurturing aspect of our personalities is like, you just give. So nobody is going to say, wait a second. Like, I think maybe you should stop, right?
Yeah.
It's like, it has to come from your own
self. And
it's hard to do.
I didn't even know that I could.
Yeah.
Until you did. And then I was like, look at her go.
Oh,
I'm going to do that. Can I do that? I feel guilty. Maybe I'm going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I have to do it.
I'm also this person that like believes that things happen for a reason, right? Yeah. That whether we make an opportunity out of them and so I think for the past year, I've been trying to look at stepping back from the show as not being a failure, right? And kind of thinking like, there's a deeper meaning behind this. Like what is it? I don't know what it is yet. There's something else coming. There's something else that's like in the cards for me. But like, I just knew that it didn't feel right? Yeah. When we were in it, it just didn't feel right. And I needed to express that the further that we got into it, right? And I just like, I feel like I'm pretty in tune with my feelings when something feels like it's meant for me or it's not meant for me. And, you know, did I jump the gun? Was I too like quick to say that it wasn't for me? Is it something that I should have stuck out? And so there's all of these questions. And I've been looking for like, what is next for me? And what did I learn out of it? And then I think like your text message over Mother's Day was kind of the point where I was like, I think that might have been it. Like, I think that is kind of like, I feel at peace with the decisions that we made around the show. And I think that was kind of like the big lesson. And that is something that like you and I are both going to take forward. And who knows what's going to come out of it from there. Yeah. But I think that was like kind of.
It was huge.
I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
So.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.